Hi there. I'm back. Yesterday was my birthday. I turned 60 yesterday, and I had a really nice day with first a little bit of birding in the morning, and then spent time with the family and so forth. Um, I was very happy about the way things turned out my last week of being 50 plus. Because I did like a challenge of 7 things that I should accomplish that last week, and that worked really well. And it turned out that this focusing on 7 things was a quite good thing for getting things done. So I've done the same now this week. I've sort of planned what I am going to do. But before that, there was 2 things I wanted to tell you. First of all, when we went birding yesterday, we had one really good observation, and it was 2 pelicans that passed over the ocean as we walked on the beach, me and Juan Liziola. And I noticed immediately that, hey, that juvenile looks very, very small. Could it be a brown pelican? But I couldn't recall, and it would be very unusual to actually see a brown pelican in Lima in the month of July, and I couldn't really recall that I had ever seen that in the winter now, because they will come down when the with the Humboldt when the Humboldt current is not that strong. You get warm water influx from the north, especially during Nino years. So you get brown pelican coming down to Lima during that time. It's not unusual. But in the winter, I couldn't really recall that I had seen one. So it took me some while, but I got my camera up and I shot off a few shots, and you could see the adult Peruvian penguin alongside with a much smaller juvenile bird. And it turned out not great pictures, but still good enough on so I could post those on Facebook. And I had some comments from various people on the one of the Facebook groups confirming that the juveniles of Peruvian pelicans are indeed more or less the same size as Peruvian pelicans, which are considerably larger than the smaller brown pelican, right? So that was a definite observation, and also documented now with photographs that I've uploaded that to eBird. So that was a nice surprise for my Lima list for this year, even though it's not that much birding that can be done. Pretty good bird anyway. Okay, so that was one thing. And the other thing I wanted to tell you guys as well, I've been posting on my own Facebook group, Facebook profile, that I'm whether I should watch this German series called Dark. A lot of people have been watching that, and I watched through the first 2 seasons, and we started the third season yesterday or the day before yesterday, I think it was, and now I'm just giving up. I can't keep track of those different time zones and parallel words, etc. And frankly, it just seems like a waste of time. So I decided I will not finish that series. My wife is still watching it, so maybe if she tells me it's really, really great and it turns out great, there's much surprises in the end and so forth. What I may do is that I'll download a pirate version of it, and then I look at it at like 2x or something, because it's extremely slow also, and I can't stand having all that 70s music coming on and off while nothing is really happening. So the series bugs me. It bugged me from the beginning also. They put this nervous music on every time, on almost every scene. It was like, the guy was washing his clothes in the washing machine, and there was scary music coming on. So that was the first thing that bugged me, and then we sort of got into it, and it turned out nicely, and sort of got used to the different characters and so forth. But very confusing series. Not so sure that I like that much. I have been talking about books in this podcast, and the Nordic noir genre. I've now reading I'm reading the series of what's it called again? Lars Kepler. Yeah, this couple. It's a pseudonym for a Swedish couple that writes these books. Lars Kepler series and Jona Linna is the police officer, and I'm now on book 6. So I've done, like 2 books in less than 2 weeks. Well, about 2 weeks, I guess, 1 book per week, and I'm now started on book 6. There is a 7th as well, I think, published, but I don't think it's on the Stockholm Library yet for download for the loan. So I'm reading them in Swedish, but really, really great detective stories. And contrary to many in the genre that I've been reading before, this is like 400 or 500 pages each book, so you get a lot of value there. I mean, a lot of, and they are truly great. So and they translated to many languages. So I've talked about these books before, and if you check out my Amazon.com shop /Engblom.Gunnar, I think, and then you'll find my recommendations of books that I have been promoting earlier on this vlog. Yeah, so it's Engblom.Gunnar in the end. So Amazon.com shop /shop/Engblom.Gunnar. All right, so those were the announcements before this list, the countdown list. I will put that in the comments. So this week, what I will be trying to do, first of all, so thank you everyone that had been giving me my birthday greetings on my birthday on Facebook and on Twitter and in private messages and so forth. I will try to answer each and every one of you. So that's like one project during this week. And I will also send you the link to the Steep Road project so you can check that out and seriously ask you if you have checked it out yet, right? So, and it's also an idea, a chance for me to actually sort of have a dialogue with a lot of people at the same time, people that have contacted me. I will most likely message you if we have been in message contact before. And if not, then I'll just make a little comment to the happy birthday note or whatever. But there are about 500 greetings, so it will take me some time to do this. So I have 500 conversations to look forward to this week. So that's number 1. All right, so number 2. 7 Wonders Birding has a web page, as you know. I have a blog post project, a blogging project for that page. And what I want to do is that I want to take all those 7 wonders and show you what birding opportunities are at each and every place. And I've already sort of almost finished the first one, but I haven't published it yet, and I don't know about the format and so forth. So, and the first one will be about Machu Picchu, which you obviously can't visit right now. But anyway, I think that's something that I need to start get going with during this pandemic. Now I can't travel, right? So I might as well start to do something proactive and something that will spread the word about 7 Wonders Birding. In short, if you haven't heard this before, the concept is very, very simple. I do short trips to special birds, the best birds, and at the same time combining with, if there's a World Heritage Site like a Seven Wonder, one of the new Seven Wonders, or other sort of heritage sites, that will be included. Plus, I will include also iconic mammals. So those are the three components, and the trips are supposed to be short. So the sort of your word life list is not that important. The important is the quality of the birds, right? And that you can do this in relatively short time. We'll see. It's just sort of a different way of looking at world birding, and that maybe it's not so much about getting that long list. In the end, we're not going to get 10,000 birds anyway. I've turned 60 now, so there's like no time to do that, and frankly, I'm not so sure that I would be interested in trying to achieve that either. But there are some good birds that I really, really would like to see, and some places I really would like to visit. And so I think there's a lot of people that are in the same situation as I am. So maybe we should try to concentrate on the things that matter, or the things that we really want to see, and the things that we really want to experience. So I'm looking forward to this blog post series, and we'll try to do one each week for the next 7-8 weeks or so. And well, we'll see. If I do the first one, that would be like one thing to do next week, right? Okay, so that's the other thing. And this sort of comes into also the other project of mine now, the 1,000 Best Birds. And so I'm not doing this because it's like a commercial venue, but rather because I would like to see what the targets are, really. The if I could choose 1,000 birds, which would they be? And I've laid out all the sort of the background to the project before in these vlogs, that I'm using the books from, or it's called Oliver Austin and Arthur Singer. Arthur Singer has some fantastic illustration in this book, Birds of the World. And then I complement that with a similar book about bird families by Perrins, and that has been out in different volumes throughout the years, started in the 80s. And the Singer book is from the early 60s, so it's got some time, but it's been a big inspiration for me. And I know now also, when checking out the Facebook group, Bird Effect at Home, I've been talking about that before. It's a great group. I'm sure most of you are members already. They just had this last crowning of the best passerine in the world that people have been seeing in the backyards during the lockdown. And the winner was the superb lyrebird from Australia. Bird I haven't still not yet seen, but which I voted for as well. So that's one of the 1,000 birds for sure. And but as this sort of contest have been going on, I've been sort of looking back at some of the videos also on YouTube, and I think like most of the stuff that is mentioned by David Attenborough is just some great stories. Those are birds that you really want to see, right? So I've been checking out some Birds of Paradise, and weird birds doing weird things. So I think that is like the targets. Those should be among the 1,000 birds, right? So I've decided that for next year, for these next couple of weeks, I should push on this project. It's a project that is more than 10 years old. I've been having this idea for almost 10 years. I think it's 10 years, or maybe it's a little bit less. I still haven't produced that list, right? I've collected from people who have sent me their 100 best birds and so forth. It's pretty constant, the birds that they want to include that there. So I'm using those as well. But in the end, I think I will sort of. Well, I've also included the threatened birds, right? The endangered and the critical birds, because I think it's a good thing that people go and see those birds that are in peril. And there's a little bit of expedition component into that as well, which I like. It's in the end, it's not so much about actually seeing the bird, but the journey to go there, and try to seek out these special birds that very much need our attention. And I've seen examples of that in Peru, that if maybe only 40 people per year go to see, for instance, the golden-backed mountain tanager, makes a difference, because each and every one pays $20, and that will help the community to do some small projects in the village, even if it's only that small of an amount, and sufficient to show them the value of the forest. Now, in the long run, you can actually get more people coming, of course, and if you get more people into this sort of expedition type birding, then you can save a lot of areas in that way, I think. So I'm looking much forward to that. So I want to push on this project with 1,000 birds and try to get it finished maybe in a month. Could that be like a timeline? So I have the final list. Whether or not it'll be exactly 1,000 birds in the end, I don't know yet, but that's the aim anyway. Maybe it'll be 1,001, or maybe it'll be 1,200. I don't know. Because what we did, one of the things that I did for last week was that I put up a Facebook, like a poll on the Facebook group called 363 Hummingbirds. You can check that out also. It's still on there. And you can vote for 25 of hummingbirds that are of some 45, 50 birds that are mentioned there on that list, and see which ones you reckon are the best ones. The endangered and the critical ones are already nominated. So things like marvelous spatuletail and gray-bellied comet, etc., are a bee. Is bee hummingbird on there? I think so. Juan Fernandez fire crown, etc. Those are already on the list. They will be on the list. And then what I'm thinking of doing in that group is a similar sort of shootout tournament. The World Cup of Hummingbirds will be coming up once we've done the vote there, in a similar manner that they've been doing on Bird Effect at Home. So yeah, that's that project. So try to get 1,000 birds in within this next month. All right, so the next item on the list to do this week, I've been playing around a lot with DuoLingo. I guess a lot of you guys are actually learning languages now, because there is more time for that. So I've seen a lot of my friends on Facebook are actually, more people are doing DuoLingo. They have a various types of awards at different levels, and it's in sort of an it's like a carrot, something that incentivizes you to keep on doing it every day. I have a long streak now. I think I've got like 240 days in a row that I've been doing DuoLingo, and I've also so the languages that I'm trying to learn on DuoLingo right now are Japanese and French, but I also trying to keep up with my German. French is not great. German and French are not great, but I get by, but I really like to get better at them. I have an account for Italian as well. I haven't really done much with that, but I may be doing more with that. And And then, of course, well, I already speak fluent Spanish, but I have it there also as a way of gaining some points. It is, after all, a foreign language for me, right? So, and now when I've been out with some Peruvians, one of the guys is actually correcting my Spanish all the time. So I still have things to learn, though. I mean, it's fluent, but still I make mistakes. And I also make a lot of mistakes in English. Someone pointed out, well, he's an editor. Hi, Frank. He pointed out to me that in my newsletter, I said it would be a good deed if you checked out my Satipo Road project, but I spelt it like dead. So it did not really turn out the same way. So a spell check could be, yeah, I did a spell check before I sent it out, but sometimes, yeah, it would have been good to have an editor. But there you go. Things happen. You know what I meant anyway, right? So I still do mistakes in English as well. Yeah? So you have to be humble about these things, and there's always more things to learn. So DuoLingo, they have a league called the Diamond League, which is like the top league. I've now passed on to Diamond League, passing Obsidian. And so this is like league level number 10. And I was up in Diamond 2 weeks ago, but then I got lazy and I sort of fell out again. So now I sort of upgraded myself again to the last level. And so this one of these badges at DuoLingo is being number 1 in the Diamond League. And that is like the ultimate thing. So in order to do that, the best way of gaining a lot of these credits to rise up in the leagues is to have, first of all, to have the paid for version, so you can do a lot of mistakes without actually falling out, so you can keep on learning more stuff, right? So if you have the free version, then you get limited for just doing 3 mistakes per day or something like that. Yeah, so you run out of hearts. But I have the paid for version, and so and then the other thing that is really nice to make a lot of points is to do the great stories that they have on DuoLingo. These stories are they help you to understand spoken. Well, they have it in 4 languages. They have in English, Spanish, German, and French and Portuguese. Okay, but I do them in English, right? So I have German, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. And so I've been doing these stories in mostly in French before. Now I'm doing Portuguese, and I'm doing the German as well, and just to get a little bit more comprehension. And they start out really slow with the slow spoken languages, yeah, and German, Spanish, French, English, whatever. And then they get a little bit faster as you get more advanced. You also get more points as you get more advanced as well, and it gets up to different levels. But the stories are great, and they have like a final twist and thing, and they're very modern also, because there are gay couples that are getting married and stuff like that, and there's a couple that goes away without bringing their phones, going out camping, and they have a horrible time because they can't find the place because they don't have the Google Maps. There's another pair that goes camping and without any electronics, and they see their friends ordering pizza because they brought a phone and they can't get any food. So in the end, they sort of go back to the car and get the phone to order some pizza. Anyway, but there are funny stories with a twist. So highly recommended DuoLingo for just these funny stories and for the gaming with the DuoLingo thing. Now, in order to learn languages, I don't think DuoLingo is the best and the most efficient for that. I like Pimsleur a lot, which I usually do when I'm running. So I listen to Pimsleur's courses when I'm running. Great stuff for learning to talk, which is sort of the main thing, right? DuoLingo is pressing buttons and getting the right answers. And sometimes I have to repeat, sometimes I have to sort of write stuff, but it gives you a little bit more, too much time to think and not to actually come out with answers and doing conversations. But Pimsleur is for conversations, so I have enjoyed those quite a bit. So yeah, so that's another goal for this week. Now, I've had the Egypt program that will be running in February if the COVID thing is sort of allowing. And it's a 7-day program in Egypt. And I think I now got all the parameters to actually price that trip. So I hope to have that up on the website for next week as well. Next point here says apply for driver's license. Well, turns out I've been living here in Peru for such a long time now, and I still have not gotten a Peruvian driver's license. And why is that? Well, I have a Swedish driver's license, right? Now, is that valid in Peru? Yeah, it is valid, but only like 2 months after you, I think it's like 3 months until after you enter the country. And so every time that since I'm traveling out in and out of the country all the time, my Swedish driver's license is valid because I can show that I actually entered the country, say 2 months ago or something like that, just by showing my passport. But that may not be enough now, so I need to get a Peruvian driver's license. So that will be happening this week, I guess. Maybe I have to do the driver's test again. I probably will have to do that. You can change your driver's license for a Peruvian one, but I don't think I will want to do that. I want to have my Swedish driver's license. I don't know. I don't think it's an advantage for me, because then I have to give up my Swedish driver's license and get a Peruvian one instead. But I can also get a Peruvian driver's license just by going through the regular sort of the situation, the courses and so forth. I don't have to do a course. I have to take 2 tests, I think. But that I will find out this coming week. All right, so the last but least, I want to set the bar for physical performance this week. I've already did a little bit of that last week and showed that I can still run a half marathon in training under 2 hours. So I'm quite pleased with that. But I don't know how fast I am. So I'd like to do maybe I'll do I was thinking of trying to do a fast 5K just to see what the baseline is. But on the other hand, if I do a 5K, it sort of interrupts all the training because I'm going to need a couple of days of recovery afterwards and so forth. So I'm thinking of just doing my lap around doing the lap around the park that I usually run in, and to do that and to see what that baseline is, and then I'll basically have that one to compare with, say, in 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months, and so forth. Because now I'm 60, you see, and now I'm old, and I'm supposed to get slower, but I don't want to become slower. I want to become faster. I want to run the marathon in less than 3 hours. I told you that already. So I will have to do some serious training here now. And as I've been saying before, I'm following this Maffetone philosophy or training thoughts about doing a lot of not fast running, but doing a lot of slow running at my aerobic threshold. And that means that I should not try to get the heart rate up. Obviously, if I do some fast running, my heart rate will go up quite high. So I don't want to push that too much. So just a very short thing. What I would like to achieve, show that I can still do, I would like to have like a 350 per kilometer pace, if that's even possible for me right now. I don't know. But if I could do that at straight out for that 1 kilometer, run a kilometer at 350, I would be quite pleased with that. I think that is kind of the goal. And even below 4 minutes, I think is, that's fair enough. I think I'm good for a kilometer with some more training, some speed training and so forth. I could probably do 3:30, maybe 3:30. but then again, the park I'm running is not totally flat, so it's probably has about, I don't know, could it be 10 meters, 15 meters, maybe altitudinal difference? Maybe that's too much, but that means that part of it's sort of downhill. Half the lap, which is about 720 meters, is downhill, and the other part is uphill. So what I'm thinking of doing is, so I get 2 downhills rather than getting 2 uphills when I'm doing this test. I'll probably do it tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, so that was all I had to do. So I'll be updating you later later this week and see how things are going. This was a long one. Sorry about that. Over 30 minutes. I hope I didn't bore you to death. And have a good night, and see you here next time. Bye.